Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Brightworks. Today, taking a look at Bismuth Valley in a very exciting 8 versus 8 Clash Up Supreme. We're going to get started right away here as I introduce some of these players, and we're going to look at this one on 2x speed. That should put us right around 30 minutes tops. So I'd love to have you guys stick around and check out this epic game that goes down here between some very high true skill teams. Now on the right hand side, you can see for our Blues team here in the east, we have Ali2K00, Ollie2K. Not sure exactly how that one's pronounced, but the highest rated player on the Eastern team, so definitely going to be keeping an eye on him. Mihawk from the One Piece. It's real, folks, and so are they. Starting out here with the bot lab in the top corner, I like to see that spreading your two most highest true skill players between the different parts of the map. Always a good idea. Keep things nice and balanced. Gotta speed up here a little bit so I don't miss anything. But we also have Trenchtown, Tuganix, Cheese, JTP, My Brain Hurts, and Goliath here on the Eastern team, rather. Sorry. Early tech harassment coming out here gets shut down. Gives me a few more seconds to introduce the teams. On the other team here, Greedomorph, representing the highest true skill color, or rather the highest true skill player for the Reds team. Followed shortly behind by Mr. Warden, who was the kind viewer who sent this replay into me. So thank you very much. I'm very excited to cast this game, see exactly what goes down on this map here. After him, we have again one, followed by Raka, Reshko, Mega Hotel, Bar S, Mujikami, and frankly, amazing. Whew, now that we got that out of the way, maybe we'll find a more efficient way to do that, but for the time being, I do like introducing all the players, telling you a little bit about them, whatever I know about them. And I'm excited to see what goes down here. And we do have some rovers sneaking past the back line, and there's no defense on this early metal infrastructure. So a lot of these are going to go down. We have two so far with this single, was it a tick? Yeah, the single tick picking off this metal extractor and trying to get another one. Looks like it will get another for its trouble. So Bar S Mujikami now in quite a bit of trouble. Also an interesting starting spot here for Reshko. On Bismuth Valley, everybody has their lane, but Reshko has decided to spawn behind Bar S Mujikami for some reason. Maybe there was an agreement worked out in chat that I missed, but they will be at a significant disadvantage, or I should say Bar S Mujikami will be, maybe I'll just call him Mujikami. Mujikami at a significant disadvantage until Reshko starts producing units. Now he is flooding out quite a few ticks to the front line, so that might be useful if he's able to snipe a commander, perhaps. We'll have to see how that goes. Mr. Warden, as well as Greedomorph, holding strong down here. They managed to get a metal extractor advantage by pushing forward far enough to tip the scales in their favor. Right now the metal extractors are unclaimed, so the advantage is not set yet. But if they manage to hold on long enough and build those metal extractors, they will be in a great position here. On the other hand, Cheesy, whatever you want to call him, building a light laser turret here to deny the metal extractors that could come up on this western side for frankly amazing, as well as Boris Mujikani. Boris Mujikani using his commander. I would much rather see the commander go to the front lines to help push that and see a construction vehicle or bot or some other construction unit building the metal extractors back here. If we take a look at the metal extractors really quickly, you can see that some of them are worth 2.8, where others are worth 1.8. So quite a bit more metal to get there. And we do see a comm snipe coming down here. Looks like that's what those ticks were for after all. So Reshko getting a nice little comm snipe as well as frankly amazing. If they're able to hold on to that metal, that'll be a significant advantage for their team. Reshko looks content to pump out a lot of these ticks. They're extremely efficient when you get them at high enough numbers. They just cost so little and can do so much that it's almost always going to be valuable. Now we do see Mr. Warden in a little bit of trouble here, being harassed by a few early Rocketeers from Ali2KO. We'll just call him Ollie. Ollie2K putting out some Rocketeers to tear down these light laser defenses. Always a good idea to bring those out, but the artillery has arrived, which means that his units are going to be under siege from further back. We also see Greedomorph holding this high ground here, which is a very nice play. I do love to see that. Also building a vehicle lab, very, very far up here on the front line, past the front line even. I mean, the vehicle lab is essentially the front line, so that's really impressive. Now, if he is able to hold on to it, that is going to be a different story entirely. He does take out some of those medium tanks, down to 9%, very dangerous. We have a medium tank putting in some hurt here, and My Brain Hurts pushing forward to degun this, but it's going to cost him his commander in order to do that. So will we see this commander being reclaimed by Greedomorph, or will we see it going down and being reclaimed by the Eastern team? Up north, looks like we have a little bit of turtling, porcupining, the technical term, the beyond all reason technical term. By that I mean no one has any set technical terms, they're just all recycled and reused. But porcupining in the sense that a lot of defenses are coming up here, making it very difficult to push into this area without suffering some sort of loss. But this is quite a lot of T1 units. We have a ton of Rocketeers as well as several Maces. So they are going to be, well, it's going to be a lot of hurt that can deal damage if they manage to get into range. But for now, this entire area is being locked down by this one gauntlet. A little bit of aggression pushing in here. I'm going to actually destroy an agitator that was built for the Western team for, again, 1. Managing to take that down is very nice. Going to save your units from a little bit of harassment. Power stalling right now, so these massive heavy laser turrets that he's built cannot function properly, and that is going to be quite a pain. This is a tremendous amount of flashes here. Blitzes, sorry. Tremendous amount of blitzes, and they're gonna put in the hurt, wiping away all of those heavy laser turrets, as well as a substantial part of this army, but they do have quite a lot of metal down here. In fact, yeah, Goliath already moving in to reclaim all this. That's nearly 4,000 metal that's left lying on the ground right there. Definitely a haul worth scooping up, gonna effectively turn the tide. Ollie 2K looks like he did manage to scoop up that early wreck. Now it looks like he's gonna go for some early bombing. Now I do love to see that. I think bombing could be potentially extremely powerful here. We see T2 coming out from Reshko. It's always good to see. Do we have any T2 up here, up north? We do have a T2 lab already up for Raqqa. That's very nice to see. Hopefully he shares a T2 constructor with his southern teammate as they need them. Looks like T2 here for, again, 1 as well, as we pan back up to the northern side. Now a lot of this metal being eaten up here by Mihawk, which is going to be very nice. Looks like he's got the T2 bot lab up. So hopefully all of his metal extractors are going to start getting upgraded. Looks like the first one's going to head to the front lines. Might be a miscue, but otherwise going to get that T2 economy up right and fast. Now bombers coming out here. No scout on these, so we're going in blind here. Oh, I apologize. He did scout. There were some scouts that I missed, and he manages to direct those bombers in a much more efficient pathway here. Targeting mostly economy. He spots wind farms. Those are, of course, one of the best targets that you can take down with a bunch of these bombers. Spreading out your bombs, the best thing you can do when they spread out their windmills like this so they don't chain react. Of course, it's a great defensive decision to put all your windmills in such a way that they won't chain react. Makes bombing a bit more of a pain, and definitely going to slow these bombers down enough that anti-air turrets can come online soon enough. Wow, that bomber actually took out a metal extractor by crashing into it. That's not the typical way to do things, but we do love to see a little bit of improvisation, as they say. Gauntlet coming up here, medium plasma artillery. I do like to see that. It's going to harass this front line. I would just say don't make too many of them. Make one in a really strategic position. I think this is great because it can fire both up into this northern lane, but also down south as well to deny a lot of these metal spots, which is going to be very huge. Going to be providing a tremendous metal advantage. Now going for a second one, I don't like that. If he goes for a third, going to be even less appealing. Of artillery raining down here. This Gauntlet trying to put in work. Getting blocked a little bit by these friendly units. Gonna have to spread those out a little if you want to see the Gauntlet at its full potential. But this northern side is completely pushed back. I don't know if this top team knows exactly how far the enemy is pushed back. I guess they can see the line of units back there, but they don't really know exactly how dangerous this unit composition is and how far back it is. That is an advanced thermal plant, so if you blew that up, it would take out anything in the surrounding area. Definitely a target worth pushing into, but this is a lot of Centurions. We're talking 34 Centurions. Definitely a dangerous force to deal with here. See some Sheldons. Always a wonderful addition to any army composition if you're playing Cortex. But the Tick Swarm has arrived. And these are pushing into a bunch of light laser turrets, which are essentially the most ideal thing you can have for them. But they are still going to do enough damage and also give enough vision for these units to push forward here. So actually a very effective tick push. I do like to see that teamwork between Vars, or Mujikami, rather, and Reshko. Very, very nice. These ticks break through the front line, as well as a few pawns and other various stuff. Mostly shut down by a light laser turret, but they do take down a hound for their trouble, which is very nice. But also a few of these blitzes manage to make it past the defenses and into the base of green over here, Chise. Dangerous push there. We do see some shuriken coming out. potentially to help with whatever counterattack comes through this area. It's a very good idea. I like that quite a lot. Blitz is doing what they can, trying to take out metal extractors, any economy that they can find. Not a tremendous amount of damage on these units, so they're just doing whatever they can, which is what we like to see. A few fiends running through as well, getting some damage. Yeah, that's great. And it looks like this agitator up here on this hill is actually able to shell away at the units lying down here in the valley below. So a bit of an odd hold here. The Eastern team is sort of crumbling to very, very weak T1 units despite having their own T2 stuff out already. So just some good strategic decisions here, poking at just the right areas and managing to do a lot of damage to the Eastern team. That being said, it looks like the Eastern team is mostly all teching up at basically the same time, so they must just have a lower unit presence because they're all producing tech units at the same time, same frame. We're starting to see some of these T2 vehicles being pushed out on the southern lane. It looks like for the most part, though, Oli 2Ko, forced to use his units in the middle lane here to contest these pushing T3 units. You see a bunch of ticks running by now and causing mayhem. Every time something explodes, it takes out a tremendous amount of these ticks, so very, very dangerous. We see Ollie using a D-gun to take care of that. Razorback, always a good idea. You know, you just keep that in mind, that if you have a Razorback and you need to deal with it, or any T3 unit, any early T3 unit, you need to take down, the D-gun is always an excellent option. Now, some light gunships going out here. Oh, they get shot down quick by a bunch of banishers. I always forget that those are anti-air, but they definitely are. And they can put out some hurt for sure. Yeah, those gunships going down is a bit of a pain. I think he was counting on those doing a little more damage than they eventually were able to. Pawns here, or rather ticks here, getting into a T2 constructor's face and potentially ruining its day. We do see quite a lot of hounds, quite a lot of medium tanks, T1 artillery, all sorts of stuff. Big hodgepodge of different units pushing forward here, putting on quite a bit of hurt on these medium tanks. These banishers, though, every time they fire, they get a little bit of damage off. Sort of like the marksman or the sharpshooter in that way, where just every rocket you hear, you know, is probably a unit going down. Oh, now that hurts. We are seeing a lot of these ticks being run into this Juno field and sacrificed. Yeah, that's unfortunate to see. Those Juno fields last a good long time. I think it's 25 seconds each. I could be wrong about that, but it's something like that. And yeah, they can do some hurt. Now the Fiends running through too. Don't know how those managed to even get past, but Fiends can do a tremendous amount of damage, as we're all very well aware. We've all fallen prone to the rogue Fiend that sneaks past and absolutely trashes our entire base. Just a devastating unit. But if you can actually manage to get them on your team, say your teammate gives you a Twitcher or something like that, going to be tremendous for your benefit. Second Razorback to make it to the front lines is now pumped out. Do love to see that. We're starting up the T3 production. We have a Titan on the way here. It's going to be a little while before it hits the field, but once it does, it'll be quite a bit of firepower to contribute to this Western team. Going to wet my whistle, a little bit of a drink, as I've come down with a bit of a sore throat. Just an occupational hazard of commentating these games, I suppose. Nothing too serious, though. Tactical nuke being used here to clear out some of these frontline defenses. Always very nice to see those. Very devastating to see those, but good nonetheless. Good when they're on your team, I suppose. Scorpions here, more than enough to deal with this T1 flood that's coming through. But not really a flood, more of a trickle. Reminds me of every day when I wake up, go to the bathroom. But that's probably just about enough talk about that. Moving on, we have these Fiends pushing through here. These Mauser are looking a little bit exposed. They don't really have a contingent of heavy units to protect them, so they're just going to run right through. Goliath in quite a bit of trouble here, and those get blown up in the commander explosion as it goes down. Relatively efficient trade, actually. That was quite a lot of blitzes to be taken down by a single commander. We do have a Thor on the front line, as well as a Vanguard. Sorry, I had to mute myself to clear my throat there. Didn't want to put you guys through that level of ASMR. We're not quite there yet. this channel hasn't quite stooped to ASMR. Let me know, I suppose, down in the comments how you feel about that kind of thing. Now we do see some hounds pushing through here, sort of meeting in the middle with some of these light pink units. This northern side having a tremendous duel, all these snipers facing off against Fat Boys. Of course, snipers, the capability to dish out ridiculous amounts of damage. The Fat Boy with a tremendous amount of health. So really an immovable wall versus a unrelenting force pushing up on the northern side there. Now we have the spread of ticks moving out, and I do wonder where these are headed. So if we click on all of these, we will see how these are queued. So it looks like instead of spreading them, we're more so just focusing on drilling into a single spot. This door has made it tremendously far into this backline here. Indeed going to take out quite a lot of this. Melting down the advanced bot lab, melting down a bunch of these advanced solar panels. Ignoring the Titan for the most part, which I think is the right decision here. Just go for the kill. You know, don't stop here. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Yeah, go, go, go. Keep going. Yes, okay, he gets the eco. That's going to be a huge hit. Can he keep going? Will he keep going? Oh, please move it forward. He gets the fusion reactors. He gets the commander, and the entire base goes up. That right there might be the game-winning play here by Mujikami. What a tremendous play with that Thor. Pushing right into the enemy lines and taking out their middle player, or at least the economy of their middle player. That is going to hurt. Now it looks like this northern side here, well, sorry, that's the southern side. The northern side here, a bit stronger, I should say. They're holding their own a bit better, but the middle is just collapsing slowly, more and more. Light amphibious tanks coming out here, kind of an interesting decision. I'm not sure why those are here. Can you make those in a T2 factory? No. Not only do I not know why those are here, I actually have no idea how those are even here. Sort of an odd choice of unit to go for, but I suppose it works. If I'm correct, I don't think those are. I guess they're slightly cheaper. I know this is the Cortex equivalent, so the Cortex are usually a little more expensive. So I don't know. Maybe those are about the same cost. Purpose done. Base wise, dig in top, lots of static. Yeah, I think they're absolutely right. I think that's just exactly the strategy you want to go for. You know where you did all the damage was right here in the middle to Purple's base. So you want to make sure that all your other sides are just holding on while you extend your advantage in the weakened area. Now this is a very dangerous push up here. I would love to see some of those ticks redirected in this direction. But we've also got a ton of fiends here, which are going to keep pushing into this line of snipers, doing a tremendous amount of damage, and ultimately, oh yeah, there's the ticks right there. Perfect. Right on cue. Oh, a bunch of those Fat Boys friendly fire into this army here. That is unfortunate to see. Yeah, we're gonna need to see some spam of our own here, maybe some counter snipers or something like that, in order to deal with this huge army of snipers. You can't really do anything about this because no matter what unit you throw here, it's gonna take a million damage all at once. Something is hurling rockets back this way, but I can't see what it is. I have no idea. A bunch of strategic bombers coming out here. Taking out this anti-nuke. Are we going for a cheeky nuke play? Looks like we've got one in the tube. Holding and ready to fire. This little, not a contingent, let me think, this little base of operations here, this frankly amazing base, built in the middle here, very vulnerable to nukes. Looks like we did launch one off. I didn't see where he was targeting, but it's got to be here or it's got to be here, one of the two. So he's going to go for this little defensive patch right here, wipe all that off the face of the map. This lone bulwark holds on, though. Very impressive. 6 health on that bad boy, but definitely not looking great. Now these snipers just devastating all of these guys. Even when they take a shot from the Fat Boys, it's still not enough to destroy them. We really need to see some sort of EMP here, maybe a stealthy unit or something like that. The plasma or the sniper shots are not plasma, so these shields will not protect you. That's important to know. And this sniper push is looking pretty devastating. Now we see Shivas coming out down south, which is very important. Trench Town, who is the one who had these Titans out in the first place, does not have the energy to fund these Titans' lasers. So they're going to be... Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Not sure exactly how much energy it takes to fire that laser. Maybe we can find it real quick. Energy per cost. Energy per... I don't see it. cost 100. Oh, okay. Only 100 energy. I really thought it would be a lot more. Never mind then. He will have enough energy to fire those lasers, which is important because those are probably the most high damage part of the Titan's toolkit. But still not enough to deal with a similar Titan, the artillery, and plenty of Shivas. This big push through the middle here. There's tons of units collapsing on this team. You can see the northern team under a tremendous amount of stress here. These catapults doing their best to fend off these intruders, but there's just only so much they can do. They don't fire very often. Oh, and they tend to friendly fire just like that, quite a lot. Tremendous play here from JTP, potentially swinging the tide here with his collection of units. We do have some Archangels here for air support, or rather for ground-to-air support. Always very important to have that. Otherwise, these will get paralyzed by the shurikens, as you can see down here in the middle. But I don't know what their answer is. It doesn't look like there's a response here. I don't know what's going on here. This is odd, but very satisfying. We need some sort of quick response here, though. We're running out of options very quickly. This Titan is now dangerously close. Looks like Mega Hotel is going to go for the D-gun, but forgetting to cloak. Yeah, you're never going to make it if you don't cloak your commander. So, bit of a fumble right there for sure. He had the toolkit, he had the bag, and he dropped it. He clutched defeat from the jaws of victory. Now the shurikens coming in. Oh, will they get it in time? They do. Now that is a clutch play. Greedomorph managing to stun that Titan mere moments away from destroying this base right here and this juggernaut that was producing. Its death explosion does go down. I would have loved to see it get eaten rather than shot by this Sabo battery. You can always tell this to stop or wait, or, whatever you want to do. But either way, at least the Titan goes down, so all this eco isn't destroyed in the process. That being said, we have a tremendous amount of units moving in from the eastern team. Yeah, this trickle of pawns has eventually, or rather grunts, sorry, has turned into a downright flow as economic resources have improved. But we are still seeing a bunch of hounds being pushed through as well. So this really comes down to who can hold their exposed flank a little better. I must have missed it, but it looks like a lot of this base down south was taken out as well. So Alley, I keep saying Alley because it kind of looks like an A, but it's an O. Ollie 2KO, 2K00. Ollie 2000? Is that what it is? Anyway, Ollie 2000 trying to hold the line here. He's got a few of these pulsars, the tachyon accelerators. Don't know how that works, but anyways, those big laser turrets holding off some of these units that are trying to push through down here, as well as some of these pit bulls. Very nice to have. Fun fact about the pit bulls, if you tell them to cloak, they will actually heal themselves slowly over time as well. Good to know in case they're dealing with units and you need to make sure that they're staying tip-top shape. Bunch of resbots here putting this Titan back together. That's very nice to see. Hopefully that, alongside this Juggernaut, will be enough to defend this base from this onslaught of snipers. The snipers, I mean, man, they can put in damage even to those T3 units if you get enough of them. The Titan is up. Not very much health, but it is up. And it's going to start fighting back against this horde. I do like this Razorback here, as well as the Thor. I think that's a great option. Both of which, I mean, because the Thor, of course, has that sort of bouncing damage ability. So it's going to be able to attack a lot of stuff all at once. And the Razorback, of course, just has a high rate of fire. So I can really tear through those units very quickly without much of an issue. All those hounds, once belonging to Yellow, have now been destroyed. Not sure where they went down. Looks like they sort of pushed in and just never made it very far. Purple has rebuilt himself into this game. Very impressive, very commendable. Managing to pull yourself back into a game like this can be very tough. A lot of times that's what these trades kind of come down to, is which team has the players that are more willing to claw themselves back into the game. What an excellent nuke. Well played by Miak. Placing that nuke exactly where it needed to be, finding the one team member who doesn't have an anti-nuke. Although this is all... Oh no, there is an anti-nuke right here. Okay, that's good to see. This is vulnerable down here, but this is all covered. So yeah, finding the one place with all of the anti-nuke, or rather with no anti-nuke, and managing to attack it with a nuke. Boy, what a redundant sentence, but I think you all get the point. The Juggernaut finally making it to the front line here, and it looks like it's going to be enough to dissuade a lot of these units from pushing in. with good reason. You know, they're not really going to be able to do anything to stop this bad boy. We're gonna need to see a D gun because I don't think there's enough defense here to take down the Juggernaut at all. I think one bulwark, a few pit bulls, and a gauntlet just not going to cut it. Two bulwarks, sorry. But yeah, these Juggernauts, I mean, they have a tremendous amount of health. You're really going to need a lot more than that. So we'll have to see how that does. We do see some bombers coming out here, but they all get shot down. Very good. Very good job to Red for holding on and holding that position. We do see Mr. Warden pumping out his own T3 Shivas. I do love to see that. We have this nice little block of Shivas from both red and yellow pushing into the enemy heartland, doing quite a lot of damage. Fusion reactor. Ooh, come on. Oh, they don't manage to get it. That is unfortunate. Razorbacks, however, do manage to sneak into this base. One more player down the drain. Also an anti-nuke out, which means that this area is going to be slightly more vulnerable to nuclear fire. Something exploded over here. I didn't see what. Looks like the Juggernaut was self-destructed in order to wipe away any trace of civilization within a 5-kilometer radius. Absolutely devastating. Those tight, or rather the Juggernaut's self-destruct explosion. It can be. I believe it's like a nuke, like a Cortex nuke. Very, very powerful. These Shivas trying their best to tear down this T3 factory. They have a lot of health, so they're tough to take down, but they do manage to get it in the end. Shiva's finally pushing frontal pressure onto this base, and I think they've broken enough of this front line that they're going to be able to smash this enemy to pieces. You see some more down here, pushing into this T3 area. There's a lot of pit bulls here, as well as the pulsar to do some damage, but I don't think it'll be enough to stop the onslaught of the yellow Shiva as it pushes forward more and more and more. We also see a flow of grunts. Is that grunts? Yes, we have grunts here. Pushing forward further and further. Always important to accompany your T3 units with some sort of lighter unit, just so that they don't get degunned. Very, very good strategy. And also the grunts serve as a harassment tool for moving past the units that can't filter them out. You know what I'm saying. Some of them will sneak through. Hundreds and hundreds will die, but one or two will sneak through. And with those several, you can do enough damage in the backline, like you can see here, to turn the tides of the game. Now, I'd love to see these coming back and taking out some of these fusion reactors, but it can only be so nitpicky with these players doing their very best to hold on as well as they can. Now this is nice, using a bunch of resbots to pick up a bunch of these Shiva. I think that's a great option. You know, you can always recycle this and pull that metal back to your central area, but that just means that those Shiva are going to have to travel twice as far in order to get to the front line. So really, it's not so much a metal problem, it's more so just a time issue that you save by moving your Shivas up to the front line basically instantly. And those resbots move a hell of a lot quicker than the Shivas do, so much easier to pump out 100 of those and put them on the front line than 100 Shivas and march them forward one at a time. Now we have a Juggernaut Titan power combo, Wombo combo, as well as tons and tons of resbots. Exactly 100 resbots. Very nice. And it looks like they call it there. Fair enough. I think they see this Titan, they see this Juggernaut, and they realize, okay, there's not much more we can do to hold on against this. What an exciting game. Top almost lost it there. They were pushed all the way back to their base with that row of snipers. Not sure exactly how they dealt with those snipers, but they must have managed to in order to allow the northern side to hold and again retreat backwards to the or rather push forwards. The eastern team had to retreat backwards. Getting a little jumbled with my words, but you guys saw it all here first. Don't forget to comment down what you thought down below. Let me know what you think about the speed. I'm trying out commentating these games at a higher speed to condense these videos down and also cut down on the idle time in between interesting parts of the game. As always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.